What's going on? What's going on? It's your boy, Mr. Nettles, aka Dwayne Nettles. I'm here with my brother, King Jose Rivera. Collectively, we make up the Last in Hip Hop podcast. This is episode 12 entitled Party Hard. The very special episode. We want to bring in a special guest today, Mr. Well, he's a professional name, William Nicholas Clay. He's here today to promote his new film coming out very soon, Party Hard. Our other brother, Matt Speed, he's taking care of some issues right now, but hopefully he'll jump on with us a little bit later. Y'all know how Matt's get down, so Matt's may be here, Matt's may not. But we're going to keep it rolling regardless. So we're going to keep it like we normally do it. So we're going to hop straight into our first segment with What Are You Wearing? So I'm going to toss it to you, Jose. What you wearing today?
Today, I got my Ray Charles, glasses on. I'm ready to be enlightened today and see some good comedy. And I got my Craven 100, shirt on. I've been in the gym, trying to get buff. I'm ready to go. Got my Fitbit watch on. What are you wearing, Dwayne Nettles? What are you wearing?
What am I wearing? All right. So I got my Ray Charles glasses, as well. Well, Dwayne Wayne glasses, I should say.
Okay.
Pop music, I can't see. I got my headband, my blue jean jacket. You remember the jacket? I remember bought your jackets back in the day.
I remember. I lost mine. I'm so upset.
I got my Juice t-shirt. So we're talking film today. My Juice t-shirt. Some simple black denim. I kept it real basic. In honor of Party Hard, I felt it was only right that I dressed like I was a college kid again. So I pulled out my Chucks. This is like the Party of 5 Point staple sneaker. So I felt it was only right. All right, so I'm gonna toss it to Nick. What you rocking today, Nick?
So I like to keep it simple. I got the black T-shirt on, right? I got my nice 40th anniversary Timex watch. Always watch on, and then dark pair of blue jeans and some slippers because I'm at my home office.
Yeah, I'm barefooted.
Yeah, keeping it casual and comfy,
Hey, we ain't mad at you. Listen, the only reason I'm wearing shoes is Jose challenged me in week 2 that I'm gonna wear different shoes every week. So since he challenged me, I'm wearing a different pair of shoes every week until I run out. So that's the goal.
Yeah.
All right, so what we're gonna do, whenever we have a guest, we like to kind of go into, cause we like to keep our podcast as a dialogue, so we want to keep it, kind of talk about where we first met. So, well, I'll let you start, Nick. Like, when's the first time that you recall meeting me?
So I saw you perform on stage first, at the Comedy Closet. You were performing as part of like a student class or
Yeah.
But your set like stood out to me, and it was just the funniest thing. And I was filming all the students that were performing that night. And like I'm trying to operate the camera and not laugh, which is hard to do. And I'm like trying not to have it shake, and but it's just, and that whole Blackfish joke, the whole thing about the documentary, that shit killed me. So, but we didn't officially meet until later, after that whole night. So when we actually got a chance to sit down and like chat briefly, I think we were watching a movie and someone else was in town. I'm not too familiar with who that guy is, but yeah. So, and then we just started becoming friends, and I saw you doing this podcast, and creative to creative person, and here we are.
Similar to what Nick said, I remember. So Nick brought the graduation show. So I did my graduation show at the Comedy Closet. So Nick was actually recording that night. But let me say this too. Nick, when I finally got the video, I felt like I was in a Netflix special, by the way. But I remember running to Nick. I was at the Comedy Closet. I wasn't even performing. I came for a show. And I ran to Nick, and we kind of talked. He told me he saw the set, and he was telling me about it. And then I remember running to Nick again one night. Matter of fact, I was performing that night. I opened for Dwayne Duke. Then after the show, we was just kind of, which is ironic, we was kind of watching movies and just talking film. And Nick came in, we were rapping then. And really, so we just kept a relationship since then, just kind of rapping back and forth. He reached out about the podcast. I knew he had the film coming out, so we wanted to give you a platform to come on and kind of talk about the film, what's going on with it. Really kind of talk your creative process, especially in this climate, being as COVID-19, a lot of us been hit with creative struggles. So
Yeah.
just ways to kind of keep pushing forward. We definitely want to hear about that. So
Yeah,
let's get started with this. So tell us, so who are you? Like who is Nicholas Clay?
who am I? I'm currently jobless. um, and all I'm doing at the moment is promoting Party Hard. But no, I grew up just loving cinema. I was a big James Bond fan when I was a kid, and I used to think I wanted to be a spy. You know, when I was like 9, because I thought what Pierce Brosnan was doing in the Bond movies was so cool. I'm like, I want to do that, but really, I just wanted to make, the movies. So me and my like neighborhood friends would do backyard type, VHS camera, home movies and stuff like that.
Right.
So as I got older, it evolved and grew, and my friends and I started doing short films and music videos, and it got to the point to where I think it's time to do a full length feature film.
Right.
And it's been running and ruining and my life ever since. But yeah, I literally just live and breathe cinema as much as possible. Like I watch 2 to 3 movies a day if I can. I'm constantly studying it. I'm constantly analyzing films and stories and techniques. And yeah, it's my whole passion. It always has been my whole entire life. But now I'm starting to get into the producing side of filmmaking since working on this feature film, and I'm kind of liking that whole business aspect of it too, even though it's really like intense the entire time. It's like, how are we gonna put this out there and get people to watch it, and are they gonna like it, or are they not gonna like it? And so yeah, still just constantly growing as a person and constantly just trying to keep learning and not staying stagnant.
Right.
Is pretty much what I do.
All right. That's dope. Let me ask you this. How would you say, and I can say for me, I was a big consumer of comedy prior to.
Mm-hmm.
So that's always been a big thing for me. And I know a lot of people told me I was funny, so it's nothing I never wanted to pursue as a career.
Yeah.
But when I got into it, I always told myself if I ever did it, I wanted to do it, at a level that I deemed that was respectable to all the people I looked up to. So what would you say is the biggest challenge going from a consumer of film to being a producer of film?
Probably working with people, because for making any sort of film or any sort of, even if it's like a music video or it's like a stand-up set or like anything you're creating content wise, you're constantly working with the public, whether you're trying to get a location or you're trying to get music rights or you're trying to cast this person, but their schedule will only work this day, and then your schedule is this day, so it's like, it's a whole machine. Right. And just trying to learn to just go with the flow of that machine was one of the biggest challenges, because I had prepped so much before we started shooting the movie, and then like 3 days into filming, like it's like throw it all out the window, like terrible things are happening, and it's like you just gotta learn to go with it. Wow. But yeah, so the whole machinery of like just getting to work with people, but you also build a lot of new relationships with people through it as well, and I think that's been my biggest advantage through this whole process, is just meeting all the different venue owners and people and comedians and musicians and actors, and it's just been fantastic. So
right.
Yeah.
What so I got a quick question for you, Nick. What was the most challenging thing that you faced while filming this? Was it like, did COVID impacted, or was it like something else?
So COVID impacted Party Hard closer to the release date, because we were supposed to premiere it in May, but then everything shut down in March, so I didn't really know what I was going to do with the movie yet. But as far as shooting the movie, I was still living in Charleston at the time when we were prepping the movie, so it's like trying to again like get all those moving pieces to be ready for when we came to Columbia to film. Right. And then filming in live venues was also a big challenge, especially when we were out in 5 Points, because you're dealing with all the drunken debauchery going on while
Oh,
you're
wow.
trying to set up. Yeah, yeah. So one of the biggest days was when we were out at the College Mart, and we're filming outside of it, right, on a busy Friday or Saturday night. And so,
Okay.
any person who walks by is like, is that a camera? Like, what's going on over there? And like, you're constantly just like going with this energy as you're like having the boom pole and like you got the camera and you're trying to interact. And then the owners of the College Mart, knew we were filming and they were out there helping. But like the police showed up at one point because there was like so many people out there just like thinking it was like a music video, just hey, 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 it's wild to see. And I'm just like, oh my God. And then one of our actors had to like fake take a piss, and then the officer's like, hey, 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 no pissing over there at that tree. He's like, I'm zipped, dude. Like it's all for the camera, so. What?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so that whole shooting the film live was taxing but exciting at the same time, because it really gives it that like authentic feel that you're really out there and involved in.
Wow.
I guess, but like it harkens back to college days. It harkens back to early 20s. It really gives it that vibe.
That was it.
Yeah.
Tell us a little about tell us about your creative process. What's your creative process?
So writing is first and foremost, like no matter what, even if it is just like a smaller commercial or a some type of work for hire type of job. I really like to have a good written either script or just outline of what I'm doing, because that's like your backbone, right? You can change and alter it any time you want to, like throughout, but like you have to have that starting point and get everybody else on the same page, because if you don't have everybody on the same page, no one's going to know what they're doing, So writing first and foremost. And I love writing. I love sitting and just in a notebook all day long. I got stacks of notebooks right here, but yeah. And then for films, it's usually I'll start writing scenes that just come in my head. Maybe something happened that day that inspired me, or maybe this is going on in the world, or this I saw in a movie and I'm like, I like that, I'm going to kind of just jot down this quick scene that I have, right? And then when the right project comes along, plug it in. So I have scenes for Party Hard that were written back in 2015, and
Wow.
they weren't, yeah, and they weren't necessarily Party Hard at the time. They were just scenes here or there, or dialogue pieces from another script that I never made or whatnot. I'm like, you know what? That would work really good in here, and this scene would work really good here. So let me use that. So it's just a constantly evolving process when it comes to just sitting down and writing what you're gonna do, which is for whatever I make next. I don't know what that is yet, because I haven't had time to sit down and actually write anything.
Right.
But yeah, it always starts with the writing, and everything else kind of falls in place after that.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's really interesting you say that, because I kind of come from the same kind of wheelhouse. Like because even before I hit stand up, I wrote for a year, like straight, like nothing but writing bits, writing jokes, a year before I ever even touched the stage. So that kind of reminds me of that a lot. And really my process too, like a lot of things I'll write. When I got into class initially, my plan was, I'll get into class, I'm gonna use the material I've been writing for the year, and I'll just kind of piece it together with Jen's assistance. But really 95% of material I wrote like in that class. The only joke that I had written prior to that was I laugh when I think about it, the 1865 joke, the Civil War joke. So that's like the only joke I wrote prior to sitting in the class. That's really interesting the way you kind of your process.
Yeah, but it helps, right? Because like it's already in your head. So like even if you are performing live and maybe like this set isn't working, maybe you can jump into what you already had. It's just it's there as that backbone, and it really does help. And I'm a big big advocate of writing things by hand, you know, like in a notebook, because it really does help you retain it, you know, type things up later. But yeah. But handwriting everything is just, and it really makes you pick and choose what wording you know, and what's being said and what's really important. So yeah, big advocate about that. What about you, Jose?
I would say I'm an artist, so I would say something that I do. I may cut on different movies on Netflix, and I will mute the actual the volume. So I'll mute the TV, and I'm writing. I'm listening to like the actual beat, but I'm watching TV. But then that might give me like inspiration. So I will give an example. So I'm a huge, say, like, Dwayne doesn't like this, but I like the Green Arrow show on CW. So I might be watching an old CW, like, say, rerun, and I'm like, oh, that's a great idea. I'm going to put this in there. I might like candles. Sometimes I might like mix like different drinks so I can like put myself in the element to where like I'm not too like, say, like professional. I want to be like a little bit more relaxed. So I try to like relax myself and put myself in this stratosphere to where I can just have like different thoughts like just hitting me all at one time, and then I'll write them all down, because sometimes I'll try to write and nothing will come to me, and then like it could be like 2 o'clock in the morning and I'm about to go to sleep, and I'm like, I could be watching a YouTube video about mountain lions like chasing people, and I'm like, oh, I gotta write all this stuff down before I go to bed. So it's like weird. It's extremely weird stuff.
No, yeah, and I really hate those too, where like you're either stuck at like a day job, or it is like 2 or 3 in the morning and you're trying to go to bed, but then that's when like everything hits you.
Yes.
Like, do I just say fuck sleep and just like go into it now, or like what, you know? So yeah, it is very taxing. But another thing that I thought of as you were talking about like music and stuff is like, I do like to build soundtracks on Spotify as I'm like writing something. You know, it's like, even though I know I can't afford like the rights to like, you know, these artists, but like, you know, I'll make a playlist of like what it's supposed to sound like, you know, and as each and I'll even pick out like scores, you know, like either classic like film scores, you know, Bernard Herrmann or something like that, or something more modern like Hans Zimmer, but like, and just, or pop music or hip hop, but just like build that whole structure. I'm like, okay, cool. I have an idea of like how I want this to look, you know, and flow and feel and tone.
Okay, that's nice.
That was it. Now I would say for us, because me and Jose have known each other a long time. Me and Jose go back. Jesus, almost what?
Hold on, let me stop you for a second. So Nick, you know, I didn't know that he was a comedian until after he graduated. Listen, I'm this guy. I was his best man.
Listen, you don't listen.
I'm talking about we've been friends for a long time. So he just told me one day, I'm going to comedian school, right? And I'm like, oh, okay, whatever. I'm like, maybe this is something he wants to learn. So like, he's telling me about the school. We're talking about it. And like one day, he came to Atlanta. I got up with him. I'm checking out this content. And I'm like, this guy is like really funny. But I remember we used to tell jokes to each other. We used to do like terrible stuff. Like I might throw water on him at like 8 a.m. in the morning, like just crazy. We would like tell jokes. So like when he showed me the content, I was like, this guy's like really, really talented and he's really funny. So, but he kept that from me though. He didn't tell me.
No.
He didn't tell me.
I'm Jose.
Listen, Jose is lying. Listen, Jose, I agree. I've been grilling you every day in the group message for like the last 10 years. What are you talking about?
It's the difference. It's like a brotherly, like, you know, joking. And then I see him on stage and I'm like, this guy's like really a comedian. Like he's really funny. So.
But yeah, no, I mean, all of those years of, you know, your guys' friendship and all the jokes and, you know, inside jokes, and like it helps build that, you know, kind of like confidence to get up there and actually do it. So because I could never do stand-up comedy, like never in a million years, not for me. Like I would get up there and be like I don't know what to say. Yeah, so props to you for being able to do that, Dwayne.
Appreciate it, man. Appreciate that. But really, for me, like, what's ironic about it? I'm such a entertainment consumer. Like me and Jose, like we've been friends since 2004, and like we bonded over just the love of like rap, just in general initially.
Yeah.
But then like the more we grew, like we be like, oh, like you're interested in comics, oh you're interested in movies, oh you're interested, and like we had all these things in common. And just being consumers of a lot of content, a lot of my comedic material comes from a lot, and you saw my set. So like watching Netflix, watching Blackfish, and sitting there like this would be really funny if it was about a person. It's like stuff like that. With the Spider-Man, with the turning white shows and the black show, I just take like everyday content and just try to put a crazy twist on it, and just to make it relatable across the board. So really, I think really film like something I've been into a long time. So like it's kind of I don't like to say crutch, but it's like a lot of the strength of my content comes from that, and really just real life experience. So it all kind of goes hand in hand.
That set that I filmed for the class, like I thought it was so funny. Like the first few comedians were just kind of like they were all really good. They're all really funny, but yours was probably a little more challenging. Obviously for a room full of like mostly white people, and like I loved like in the first row that there was like this older couple and they were just like not happy with like any sort of what we were telling, and I was just like they are very uncomfortable, and I love it. It's great. It's so funny to just see them kind of like Spider-Man, Blackfish.
I want to laugh at that Blackfish.
But it was great.
That racist fish. And really too, Nick. My professional life, I'm an educator by trade. So one thing I always want to do when I get on stage, like, I'm always there for a good laugh. I think that's the one thing that binds everybody. Everybody likes to laugh.
Oh yeah.
But really, when I hit that stage, my goal is to one, to make everybody laugh, but two, I just want everybody to think. I'm not telling you how to think. I just want you to look at stuff and just put a different twist on it. So that's the biggest thing when I hit.
And it's great to constantly challenge like one's thought process. I mean,
right.
Like I was saying earlier, you have to continue to grow as a person no matter how old you are.
Right.
Right. Everything's going to keep changing with or without you here. So it's like you either have to evolve and grow as a person or just remain stagnant. And it's just kind of like, what do you really want to do? Like, are you content, or do you want to challenge yourself and become a better person? So, and it's a great way to utilize that through comedy. I think that's great. I like being challenged like that.
Right.
Are there any directors that you look up to that maybe inspired you, or even inspired like your work as far as like the film that you're producing now?
Yeah, I mean, there's plenty of filmmakers I like, and there's obviously the big ones like Martin Scorsese or Paul Thomas Anderson or Quentin Tarantino.
Okay.
But as far as Party Hard goes, I was really inspired by director and actor John Cassavetes. He was really big in like the 50s, 60s, 70s, and like early 80s, and then he passed away. But he would act in big movies like Rosemary's Baby or The Dirty Dozen or things like that to finance these smaller, like really nitty gritty, like indie movies. And he's kind of like the godfather of like experimental, independent, low budget, down and dirty movies, And he had this movie called Husbands that came out in the 70s. And it's about these three guys whose fourth best friend had passed away. And they're in their 40s, they're all married and they have their lives. And they realize, like, life's short. Like, our fucking friend is dead, And they go on this bender and they're just talking about all these existential crises, as they're running around New York City. And then they hop on a plane and go to London, and just like leave everything behind for a few days and then come back, and the movie ends with them just going back to their normal lives. But everything was just so gritty and raw. You see all the people in the background of scenes in New York just looking at them like, what, like, are they filming something? Like, what's happening? Like, and there's just really grainy 16 millimeter low budget kind of thing. And I was like, you know what? I like that, because all of his movies just focus on you know, unique points in time in these like characters' lives. You know, it doesn't have to be just husband, but other works of his too. And he really lets the actors kind of just go and find these like character moments and express themselves, and you know, that's what it's all about. So I wanted to do that with Party Hard.
Right, right.
Now, I don't think I'm anywhere near Cassavetes level, but you know, he's had some years. So, but yeah, so I really wanted to do something that was just kind of, you know, it felt like it was real in a documentary, but it's also funny and it's dramatic, and like it's just because it all takes place over one night. Right. The entire movie. So it's like you're just going on this journey and you're dropped in with these characters, and then the next day, you know, it's over. So, and I was really interested in trying my hand at something like that. So, but.
Definitely. All right. Good shit. Well, let's do this. I met Nick on the comedy circuit, the local comedy circuit in Columbia, South Carolina. So I feel like this platform is a good opportunity to kind of address the elephant in the room with the Columbia comedy circuit. I mean, it's kind of been talked about online, so I feel like it's a safe space to share, and it's kind of relevant to this too, because I know he had a part in your film, so I know it kind of that impacted you definitely. So let's jump straight to let's discuss the John Gibson deal.
Did we lose Jose?
He's coming back.
Cool. Yeah. So yeah, John was in Party Hard, but the moment that news broke, like we were done with the movie at this point, you know, because we were supposed to premiere in May. And the moment that news broke, we were just like, like there's no way I'm gonna keep him in the movie after that, because obviously what he did was fucked up, and even worse, like all like the relationships that he had with people, you know, throughout the city, just screwed it all, and then deleted everything and left. And that's like the biggest sign to me, like, okay, you know, guilty as shit, like fuck you then. So yeah, so we actually went back and we actually went back and re-edited the movie and cut him out of it. We went back and there's like an opening scene where you find Ty Rao's character on a pool table passed out, and he was the one who originally found him, but then we went back and shot it with somebody else and cut the scene together the exact same way, you know. So it was really weird going back, like, you know, to 2-year-old footage and just like, how do we make this work? And then any other scene that he was in, we cut out too. Besides, there's 2 scenes that he's in the background of that we just couldn't, because they're story points and it's hundreds of extras around, and I just can't afford to. But like, no speaking parts, no stand-up comedy, no nothing. And it feels a lot better with him not in it anymore. You know, I couldn't imagine, like, you know, those who were impacted by him, like just seeing him right towards the beginning of the movie, you know? Yeah, so he's gone. He's out. He's out of the city, and he's out of Party Hard, and he's out of mind.
He disappeared from the film like he disappeared from Columbia, I guess.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because he didn't teach the class though, right? It was
so Jen actually taught class. Jen taught class. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. But yeah.
All right. Well, that's that. All right. So let's do this, Nick. So go ahead, give us a plug on the movie. I guess give us a brief synopsis of what it's about, and I guess we'll go from there. We'll jump to the trailer.
Cool. So, Party Hard is about Chandler, played by Hunter Bolton, who is unsatisfied with the past mistake that he's made in his life. He's recently moved off to Charleston, South Carolina after a bad breakup and feeling too stagnant from one too many all-nighters with his friends. And 1 month into that move, he realizes, like, what am I doing? Like, I just made this impulsive decision, and it's like, I need to go back and fix things. So he comes back to Columbia, and he ends up on a late-night odyssey of binge drinking and bar hopping with his buddies Ty and Jules, played by Ty Rao and Brian Forbes. So then you go on a crazy wild adventure, and you meet all these great locals, whether they're musicians or comedians or whatever. You know, they're all in the movie playing versions of themselves and they interact with my character. So it's pretty cool.
All right. That's dope. All right, so let's jump to the trailer. I'm gonna put my technical skills to use today.
Yeah, I have no idea what you're doing. So
Please don't. All right. Okay.
the first time for the
Yes,
show.
sir.
oh, cool.
First time.
Oh man, you know how to work it.
Yeah. There we go.
Too short, we ain't worried about
That's actually the end of the video. Let's go to the beginning of the trailer. That's all right. Though we're working out the kinks as we go.
Yeah.
5 points, 5 points, 5 points.
Oh, matter of fact, that's for the tickets. So tell us, while we're pulling up, tell us about the ticket sales, Nick.
Yeah, so we're doing our premiere at the Big Mo on September 22nd, and we're doing it as a double feature with another local movie called Prelude to Infusco, which is a post-apocalyptic sci-fi actioneer, which also stars Hunter Bolton, who's my main character. And we're having 2 live performances by the band Boo Hag and hip-hop artist Hero, and all this is for $8 if you buy it online. It's going to be $10 the day of at the Big Mo, cash only, but right now it's $8 online.
Gotcha.
And also, I was trying to figure out what to do with this. I guess this is a good time to talk about it, but I have gift baskets for anybody who's purchased tickets online. It comes with a Party Hard mini poster of this with a sticker, button, and koozie and thank you card. So plugging that in there right now. If you want to buy tickets online.
All right. All right, here we go. Now we got the trailer up now. Here we go.
When I saw you tonight, I wasn't really thinking of.
You're like tonight now. So what's your name? That's all.
That's some buffering. Technical difficulties. This is what happens when you're.
Come on, Reed Richards. Come on now.
Live. Chill out.
Come on, Reed Richards. You gotta live up to that name.
Hey, I'm reading your Dr. Doom. There we go.
You want to be Reed Richards, Iron Man, Batman.
There we go.
What's these other tabs you looking at? Had to make sure you ain't had nothing bad up there.
Bro, you know I'm gonna be there. Dude, yes. What's up, man? You know it's time, man. Look at this ball. They're living on that. I may not be money, but I'm sure as hell rock and roll.
What do you want?
I'm completely lost.
Like we said, guys, we want y'all to just feel the vibe real quick.
We've never rehearsed this song.
We've never even rehearsed this song. Yeah. Yo, this world, it is ours. And I'm chilling on top till I draw you a star. Out of this world, homie, I'm on Mars. With the flow, gotta pop
That's what we're
Oh, yeah. Party hard. Party hard.
Every man gets their soul and redemption. I'll explain. The adventures they drag us on. Hey, y'all want to take a Snapchat with me real quick? It's already on selfie mode. I'm a selfish son of a... On three, y'all say hell yeah. 1, 2, 3! Hey, I love y'all so much. Thanks, everybody. 5 points, 5 points, 5 points. Yes.
All right. All right, let's see if I could get back out of here.
I don't know if my internet dropped or not, but
Oh, okay. You just wanted to make sure you was good. That's why I posted that.
You ain't missing nothing.
I was trying to shoot a message, but I'm pretty sure the whole thing just kind of went.
All right,
Nope.
boom.
All right, so that was the trailer. Let me say this: like, well, number one, when I first saw it, I was like, it looks like one super professional, and it definitely took me back to like it just took me back to the times of just being in college and being in 5 Points and just hanging out. It really brought that college town like ambiance of like watching it.
Yeah, you know, we've never had a movie in Columbia before.
Right.
I mean, we've had things filmed here, but it's never been set here, you know? And we really, really tried to push that aspect of making this movie is that it's set in Columbia. But they go all over the city. There's so many places that you'll see that you're just like, oh, I know where that is. I've heard of that. I've done that before, so pretty cool.
That's dope. That's dope. Man, plug the ticket sales one more time, Nick. Let everybody check you out.
Okay. Ticket sales one more time. September 22nd, Big Mo, double feature, 2 movies, 2 live performances for music. I know everyone misses live music, right? So it's like, here's a opportunity. You gotta wear a mask if you don't being kicked out. And so September 22nd. Go to partyhardmovie.com, get your tickets early. You'll get a gift basket. Cool stuff.
That's dope. That's dope.
Nice. Wayne, did you touch on the soundtrack?
No, take it. You the musician, Jose. You take it.
So how did you, as far as when it comes to the soundtrack, how did you pick the groups or artists on there? And how were you able to work with Preach Jacobs and Fat Rat Lazar?
Okay, so for the soundtrack, it was months and months and months of going through playlists on Spotify. You know, there's like SC Scene or things like that, or like, you know, doing a lot of Googling or YouTubing and like just trying to find out who all was here locally, you know. And some of them I already knew. You know, I know Hero, I know Cole Connor, you know, Crimson Music, you know, whoever. You know, I knew a bunch of them. But as far as like Fat Rat Preach Jacobs goes, Preach actually came on last minute. It was like a lucky accident. We were supposed to be filming at this house for like a house party scene, and that person dropped the location last minute. So we're like, where are we gonna film? You know? And Amy Brower, who plays one of my lead characters, she knows Preach, and she hit him up and was like, hey, could we do this at your place? And he's like, yeah, sure, why not? So we brought extras over, and this is actually the first time I met him. And
Okay.
we did fake cocaine in the bathroom together for a scene in the movie. So you'll see Preach and I just like, woo, yeah, this is fun, crazy. Yeah. But so he came on board that way. He's awesome. He's one of the nicest people I've ever met in my life. He's very, very welcoming, and I really, really am appreciative of that, because like we were really, really screwed for a second. You know, that goes back to the whole like just rolling with the punches kind of thing. And then Fat Rat, like I've met him occasionally, but I've mostly just heard of him through Hero and like heard his music before, but like we didn't really like have anything that we've like worked on together before. But I just reached out to him. I was like, hey, this is what I'm putting together, and like it wouldn't feel right if I didn't have a Fat Rat song on this soundtrack that's all Columbia based, you know? Like,
Okay.
yeah, so and he was very, very open to that idea, and he put me in touch with his agent, and he actually did an original song for us called Throw It Up. And so that will be heard the first time on September 22nd in the movie. So we have a Fat Rat song, so that's pretty cool.
That's
and then Hero and Cypher T, which is Ty Rao, who's one of my leads in the movie, they did the original song Party Hard for the movie as well. And that music video is coming out Monday to help tie into the movie and stuff like that. So
Oh,
yeah,
that's
it's really
nice.
cool. Like we have like 15 different like local artists on the soundtrack, and everyone was just like so welcoming and open to the idea, you know. And like I would just message and be like, hey, this is what we're doing, like this is what I can do, this is what, like, you know, what can we work out. And like, you know, some bands like Foo Hag or Easy Shakes like gave us 2 songs for the soundtrack to use, you know. So like there's no score in the movie, like no instrumental music like telling the story. It's all either live performances in the movie or it's playing at like bars or in cars, you know. So all the music's supposed to be like diegetic and real, you know. So it's pretty cool. I'm really, really happy about the soundtrack. It's one of my favorite things about the movie.
Oh man, that's dope. That's dope. All right, let's do this. All right, so we're gonna transition to our recurring segment. We really gotta have a guest here today since we're talking party hard. We're talking film in general. For this week's My Top 5, it's only appropriate we do My Top 5 Movies. All right, so I feel like I'm gonna let Nick go last. He's a professional, so. So
It gives me time to think.
you want to take it, Jose? You want to go first?
Yeah, so listen, my honorable mention is going to be Scarface. I love that movie. I can sit down and watch that movie with my mom like over and over again. Now, my top 5,
Right?
5 is going to be Juice.
Okay.
I can watch that movie like every single day. Like, as far as like the brotherhood that they had, and then as far as like how Tupac got the gun and then he tried to be the man. So that's 5. 4 would be Winter Soldier. When I saw that film, like one of the greatest moments in that film was when Samuel Jackson was driving in the SUV, and then the Winter Soldier was like attacking the SUV. Like I was watching the movie like, oh my God, this is like incredible. And then how Samuel Jackson got away, incredible. 3 would be Boys in the Hood. The reason why I like Boys in the Hood because you had, you know, Fishburne, you had Ice Cube, you had Morris Chestnut, you had Cuban Gooding Jr. And it was a story that, you know, most, you know, people of color, they could relate to and they can understand. And then as far as seeing like the star player, you know, most time in like urban communities, somehow the star player sometimes won't make it out because they got caught up in like the violence that was in the community. And that was like something that they showed in the scene and something that I could like understand. 2, it's gonna grind Wayne Nettles, Mr. Nettles' teeth a little bit, but I like Batman Begins. Yeah, listen, that story
Ain't nothing
is
wrong
like.
with that.
What is wrong with it? I just want the biggest thing.
But hold on, you gotta listen. You gotta think. They had Michael Keaton, and then after Michael Keaton, all the other Batmans was trash. They were trash. So it like when I saw my guy Wayne, the storyline was good. The only thing I didn't like was Batman's voice.
That's what killed
But other than that, it was just like when it came to the fighting style and they told the whole story of like how he like turned into Batman. It made people like understand Batman more, and it made Batman likable. Now, the number 1 film that I've seen my entire life will have to be Avengers: Infinity War. Like, that was like a roller coaster that I've never experienced with any other film at all. Like, many people have tried. Like, I saw like Star Wars tried a couple times recently. That last Star Wars film was the Superman versus Batman. They kind of tried that, but it was like the way that they ended that Infinity War was incredible. So.
All right, yeah. First of all, I don't dislike Batman.
Oh, there you go. Okay.
I don't dislike Batman Begins. I just hate Christian Bale's Batman voice.
Christian Bale he's an incredible Batman. He's right after Michael Keaton.
Listen,
He's right after him.
I don't like his voice.
That's the only thing you can say is the voice. That's it.
But the movies
The
are
voice
fantastic.
sucks. I
Tonight, it's classic.
Oh man.
But I know what Batman Dwayne likes, and that was a good one too.
I'm a Dark Knight fan. I like that. All right, I'm gonna go into my list. My top 5. Coming in at 5, Avengers: Infinity War.
What? 5?
Listen,
No.
listen. It comes at 5
I
because
want to
it's
see
hard.
it.
Listen.
I'm listening.
No, listen. It's the highest of every comic movie on my list. It's hard for comic movies to make my top 5 list of films. So that's why.
Infinity War is much better than Endgame, I will say.
It's much better. The only thing about Infinity War, what it did for me, like, it's the first time I left a movie like dumbfounded. I was like, this is it. I'm like, what? That's what did it for me. All right, number 4. My list is all over the place too, by the way, guys. Number 4, Forrest Gump. This is my favorite Tom Hanks movie. Forrest Gump. It's so many classic characters in the movie. Forrest, you got Bubba, you got Lieutenant Dan. Listen, I love Forrest Gump. You got Jenny. You got Jenny in the movie. Love Jenny. All right, number 3, a movie I brought up in my set. The great documentary, Get Out. It has to go on the list. Greatest documentary of all time. Number 2, excuse me, coming at 2. I'm cheating a little bit. I'm smashing 2 movies into one because technically it's one long. Kill Bill comes in at 2. Nice. Kill Bill, great movie. Love Quentin Tarantino. One of my favorite Quentin Tarantino movies. So Kill Bill comes at 2. And number one, my favorite actor of all time, coming at number 1, Denzel Washington. Training Day. Training Day comes in at number 1. Alfonso's like my favorite of all time. So that's my top 5.
How do you feel about Flight? Because I feel like that's a very underrated Denzel performance.
It is. Flight gets a lot of flack. I like Flight.
Yeah, I love Flight. I'm like, dude, and especially because he's playing an alcoholic and
right.
He wasn't drinking as he's playing it. It was just, and I don't think people talk about it enough. But I fucking love Flight.
It's a definitely underappreciated Denzel Washington film.
Yeah. All right. So is it my turn for top 5?
It's on you, brother.
Yes.
All right. So I'm gonna start with 5. The Blues Brothers.
Woo.
Right.
Okay.
It's got everything you ever need in a movie in it. It's got great music. It's got car chases. It's got the cool black suits. It's got humor. I love it. And then you get to listen to James Brown, Aretha Franklin, Ray Charles, all them throughout the entire movie. So it's awesome. Number 4, let's go with 12 Angry Men, the Sidney Lumet film. It's still very, very relevant to today's time. And it's all set in one juror room, and it's just the most intense thing you'll ever watch. I'm going to do a different one than the last interview I did. So I'm going to do Paul Thomas Anderson's Magnolia, which is a brilliant movie of 7 different characters' lives intertwining throughout one single night, and it's probably one of the best Tom Cruise performances there ever was.
Okay.
Let's see. That was 3 movies, right? Okay. I'll go with the Tarantino one as well. I'll do Inglourious Bastards.
Oh, great film.
Yeah, I could just watch Inglourious Bastards any day. I feel like that's probably his best movie. His most exciting movie is Django Unchained. And I loved Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and obviously all the classic Tarantinos. I have a really big soft spot for Jackie Brown, because not only does it have Pam Grier and a career rejuvenating performance, and she's awesome in it, but it's based off of a Elmore Leonard novel, and I loved him as a writer. So it was cool just to have all that come together. And you get to see Chris Tucker in a Quentin Tarantino movie with Samuel L. Jackson. So that's really fun. And let's see, what's my last one?
Drum roll.
I'll just throw out the James Bond franchise for my last one, because I got 007 tattooed on my arm, and that's what started this whole roller coaster. And I'm really excited for the new one. It looks classic Bond, and they just dropped the trailer a few days ago. So really, really excited to see Craig go out on a high note. So
All right.
cool.
Did you guys like any of the Lord of the Ring movies?
I like Lord of the Rings. They're just so long, yeah.
Or any Star Wars film?
I'll stick with the original trilogy for Star Wars.
Is the original trilogy is unmatched.
Yeah. Anything after that's hit or miss. But
What was the one where Anakin had got his arms cut off? Which one was that?
That was
three.
episode 2, I think.
3 for
That's my favorite Star Wars movie. I think I was in high school when I seen that, and I was like right in the front. So I seen like all the laser stuff, Yoda like falling off. Like I was like looking around like this. It was crazy.
Yeah.
You was blinded by that thing.
It's all about the theatrical experience. You know.
Yes.
People want to keep moving to streaming and stuff, but people don't realize you're eventually going to get bored sitting in your house all day doing laundry, watching TV. You know, you can't focus on it. So yeah, stick with theatrical. You know, still watch movies in theaters. But that's all I'm gonna say.
That's where it's at. All right, so let's
Cool.
hop into our next segment, Shameless Plug. So this is a chance where we all hop on, plug what we got going on. So Nick, since you're a guest, I'm gonna go ahead and throw it to you. What you got popping? I know you got a movie coming out.
Yep, I got partyhardmovie.com. First thing you see is get tickets now. And I would love it if everyone got tickets. And like I said, the first 100 people who buy your ticket online get that cool gift basket with all the free Party Hard swag. So definitely get your tickets early, and it helps me keep track of how many cars. That's my plug.
All right. So you heard it here first. Go check out Party Hard. Go buy your tickets. Go support independent artists, especially in this climate. Nick said he don't got a job. Go support his movie.
Yeah.
All right, Jose, what you got coming up, Jose?
Right now, just working out and just writing some music. That's about it. I'm gonna drop some music soon. I'm speaking to a couple people to see when's a good time to drop it. So
You working on that Last and HipHop soundtrack music yet?
I haven't got to it, but
don't say the wrong thing. You might get fired.
listen, me and Max, we'll have to have a meeting, and we're gonna get it done.
All right, man. So for me, as always, you can check me out on Tuesdays at R&B Grill on 2 Nights, performing stand-up there. Catch me next Sunday. I'll be opening for Jen Snyder at Curiosity Comedy. Then at the end of this month, I'll be doing a virtual show with Jen, Wayne Cousins, and a few other comics as well. So a few things in the works coming through real soon. And again, check out the collective, Last and Hip Hop Podcast. Follow us on Instagram at Last and Hip Hop Podcast. Follow my brother King Jose at his Instagram. Myself at Miss Nettles. And please go follow William Nicholas Clay on his Instagram as well as follows Party Hard Film. Support the movie. Please go buy tickets. It's been a great episode. Looking forward to having more guests. Again, want to Nick take the time to come out and join and sit on with us today. Chop it up. It's been a pleasure. And listen, we look forward to have you back on and working some more in the future, man.
Yeah, man, I definitely appreciate it. You know, any chance to promote, I thank you for that. So.
Yes, sir. All right.
It was nice to meet you, Jose.
Nice to meet you too, man.
That's right. All right, so guys, also shout out to the supporters. Thanks for everybody who jumped on with us live. Thank you to everybody who follow us currently. We're now over 600 followers, so we appreciate you guys. We can't come here and say that without you guys. We wouldn't be here. It's been a great episode. Good time chopping up always. Good to have my brother Nicholas on. Like, again, this is the exchange between brothers. Like, anybody on the show is family to us. So anything you need from us, please let us know, brother.
Yes, sir.
All right, so on that note, we're going to toss it. We'll catch you guys next week. And hold it down. Peace.
And Max is fired.
Max is fired.